chapter 15, God comes and he makes this covenant with Abraham and explains to him everything, because the problem here is Abraham is blessed, but he's barren. So the blessing is, in blessing I will bless you, in multiplying I will multiply you. The very thing that is his problem, God said, in my blessing, your problem will be solved. By two immutable things, God swore by himself. And he said, in blessing I will bless you, and multiplying I will multiply you. In chapter 16, this whole barrenness is taken on, because these two people came to Abraham and said, your wife will be pregnant. And she was laughing, and she said, well, she'll be called Laughter from now on. But in Genesis 17:7, this is one of the most important scriptures, and it's hardly being preached on, because this is the total separation of the promised seed line of Melchizedek and the natural seed line of Jesus Christ. This is where this thing separates. God makes this covenant with Abraham, and he establishes the genealogy and the seed line, if you can say it like that. He says, I will establish my covenant between me and you, in thy seed after you, in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee. There's the covenant. In your seed after you, to be your God. Then he goes on, and to your seed after you. And we know this one speaks about the promised seed line, because it's not in generations, it's in the spirit. So here, the order is established of natural and spiritual. Now, what happened is when Adam sinned, heaven and earth were a unity. That separation came, and we lost our place. This is why Jesus came and he said, I'm going to prepare you a place that you can be where I am. This is the place he has prepared. And what happens here is there is a split in the seed line. It's the foundation of what is going to happen. So when we read that Christ was crucified from the foundation of the world, it means in this covenant in Abraham. It does not mean earth. Let's just go back to Hebrews 1. And again, when he bringeth the first begotten into the world, he said, let the angels of God worship him. Can you see? He is saying world. He brought them into the world, not the earth. When it comes to the earth, it is a total different story. And thou, Lord, in the beginning has laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the works of your hands. So here we have the foundation of the earth, but he brought him into the world, and he was crucified before the foundation of the world. So you cannot mix earth and world. Earth, the foundation of the earth, is like you find it right from the beginning in Genesis. But the foundation of the world, you find it in Abraham, where the seed line split. And I think when Abraham took that bread and took the wine, I mean, Melchizedek brought him the bread and the wine, and he ate it. And in eating it, there came the dealing with the barrenness, the dealing with all the blessings, everything, and the split line. So I really believe that Jesus Christ was Melchizedek, because he says, Jesus, son of David, son of Abraham. It's all connected, and you cannot separate it. There are two orders. And he says, now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He said, not seeds as many, but of as one, and to thy seed, which is Christ. So in Christ, we become the seed of Abraham, who was the father of faith. And this takes us back to Matthew 1. Jesus Christ, son of David, son of Abraham. This is like the seed is not in the natural. It is in the spiritual. It's a different order. Because what happened, he came to his own, and his own received him not. What did they do? They allied with Rome, iron, to remove him. But God had his guarantees in place. Because he says in Psalm 2, why do the heathen rage? Why do the kings come together to take out the Messiah? But God sits in the heavens and he laughs. So when Abraham slaughtered the kings, the next thing, Melchizedek appeared and said, you're my man. And Jesus is actually a son of Abraham, because this is the way he went. And if you look at David, I mean also, he rid Israel of the Philistines. He rid them of the giant. So it's Jesus, son of David, son of Abraham, at the slaughter of the kings. Why? He is the King of kings and the Lord of lords. It's amazing that when you go in Daniel, when Daniel interprets the dream to Nebuchadnezzar, he says to him, you King of kings, you're the biggest king that ever was. I was like, what? But if you go look at it, it's small King of kings. It's of a low order. But Christ is the King of kings, Revelation 19, and the Lord of lords. And there's a name written on his side that no man knows. Yet he says the name is the Word. So the natural man can never understand what the true Word is. And if you understand the true Word, you will understand the King of kings. And it's another order. But what I love about this, it's you will be king forever. In Psalm 110, he says, I swore that you will be king forever in the order of Melchizedek.